My name is Daniel Logan. I was very fortunate at 13 years old to actually become the character Boba Fett, the younger version of Jeremy, who we call Grandpa. He calls me Baby. I was able to work on the film for about approximately 6 months, on and off. It wasn't non-stop. It was I'm originally from New Zealand. We filmed actually in Australia. So for me, not only getting to be in a movie, but I got to travel for the first time in my life. So it was 2 big experiences. I'll go to Australia for about a week, get to enjoy the good life, hang out on set with all the good actors, and then go back to New Zealand for however long, and then they'll call me back. Okay, we need him again for a week, and I'd go back for a week. And this happened for months, like a long period, maybe like 9 months. They would just, all right, we don't need him today. Take him home to New Zealand. It was like putting me on a bus and sending me back, you know, but I flew. I got Star Wars out of an audition. I auditioned out of 5,500 children worldwide. When I got asked to be in the role, I didn't actually know what I was going up for. I'd never heard of Star Wars. My mom has, we had a family of 6, so Star Wars wasn't really on our vocabulary, you know, trying to put food on the table and stuff like that was more or less, well, my family was more or less orientated around. They asked me to do the audition, and I got into acting through rugby. So a lady actually asked my mother, once I got this advertisement for rugby in a milk commercial, if she could give me more work. So I was a rugby player thinking, all right, I get paid to do this, I don't get paid to play rugby, you know? Give me more jobs. So she actually started giving me a lot more work, and that's where the acting kicked into my side of my life. I got so many stories, they're all trying to come together at once. Getting Star Wars for me was really like something I'd never heard of, but I never thought it was even possible because acting to me was, you know, just people in the movie. I got to enjoy it, watch from this side of the camera, the TV, not that side. So I remember getting the call. My agent was screaming at the top of her lungs, "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!" I'm like, who is this? You know, calm down. I'm like, hello? Because at that time, New Zealand, we're still a couple centuries behind. We don't have caller ID, you know, or answer messages. You have to literally sit around home all day waiting for calls. You know, I'm like, Mom, she's like, did you call this week? I'm like, I called it, rang through 5 times. So I'm like, who is this? Calm down. She's like, it's your agent. And I'm like, I realize this by now. She's like, I got you an audition. An audition? This is what all the hype is over? You know, and she's like, no, I got you an audition for Star Wars. And I went, Star Wars? All right, send me the script, I'll go for the audition. You know, just like that, you know, and she's like, no. You don't realize if you get this role, forever your life will be changed. And she goes, matter of fact, forget that. You can forever now say you were the kid who auditioned for that kid role in Star Wars. You know? And I went, okay, sounds pretty cool to me. So I went along into this really fancy hotel, and my mom and my nana went along with me. My nana was like my mom, because my mom was always working all the time. And I was always overprotected with her, you know? So I'm like, all right, Dad, come on. They let her go up to the elevator and come sit outside the room, but she was not allowed in the room. At this point, I'm like, okay, so I had to go in by myself. Well, there was no script, there was no nothing. It was all personality, just me talking to another person and someone filming it. So I just seen episode 1 because I had to catch up on what I was about to audition for. And the lady asked me, do you have any special talents? And because I'm from New Zealand, we have this dance called the taiaha. It's actually the bow staff, but it used to be sticks back in the old day, one-on-one combat. So knowing that we're in this, you know, 5-star hotel, I knew there wasn't going to be a broomstick in sight, you know what I mean? So I'm like, well, do you have a broomstick? I can show you, you know? And she's like, thinking, no, it's okay, don't worry about it, trying to be cool. Because I thought I was going to be a Jedi. I didn't know what I was, you know? She goes, well, just pretend like you have one in your hand. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Star Wars kids on YouTube and stuff like that. I think they're teasing me like my audition. I'm running to this hotel room like this. You know what I mean? This lady is just laughing her ass. I'm like, oh my God, this guy should be in Star Wars. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, that's cool, you know. They're like, we'll be in contact in about 3 months. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. See you guys later, you know. Never gonna see you again. So I leave. I go back to regular life, doing chores, going to school, you know, doing my regular things, still auditioning for other things. And then I got the Peter Pan audition. They did the Neverland, whatever, and I actually got rated 5 stars. Not heard of for a New Zealand actor, especially my age. And then George ends up finding out, I guess, or something, and he ends up calling my family, or my agent, my family, and telling him, all right, he's got the role, you know what I mean? Like, we're telling you now so that we can have him. But don't tell the kid. So I'm like, what? So my big brother, he's my idol. I love him. You know, we hang out all the time. We used to hang out all the time, play video games and stuff like that. And for a little brother, it's actually cool to have a big brother that actually wants to hang out with you and stuff like that. Especially when you're playing Grand Theft Auto, running around stealing and killing and stuff like that. It's like, okay. So one day I'm sitting there playing, and I was so good that the mission dragged out that he wanted me to give over the controller. So the way he got me to give over the controller is he goes, hey little brother, and I'm yeah. He goes, you got Star Wars. I'm proud of you. I went, what? Throw me the controller. What you say? He goes, yeah, you got Star Wars. Like, no way, don't lie. I went to run up the room to ask my mom. He's like, no, get back here. I go, well, what's up? He goes, no, I wasn't allowed to tell you. Mom said, don't tell you because you got a big mouth. You're going to go tell everybody. I'm like, what? Because you're not going to be allowed to be told for a while. And I'm like, now you're pulling my chain. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like, hey, you know, like every single emotion of bipolar you can think of. So then so I trusted my brother. And after this, I was like, I got it, yeah. And it made me just have this little, walk around, with a little chihuahua with his tail high. And then about a month later, my mom brings me in the kitchen. And like, usually when you get into the kitchen, on the kitchen table, you're in trouble, And my mom, you don't want to mess with her, trust me. I said that in an interview one time, and they put it all over the internet, I'm like, oh man. I was like, I should beat you, kid, just telling the truth, Next minute she has sips in her house, like, are you beating your children and making them be slaves? She sits me at the kitchen table, and she's like, sit down. Like that, literally, like, hey son, come sit down, that's like, sit down, I'm like, she's like, you got Star Wars. I'm very proud of you. Just like that, and I'm all, okay. Then I just see those beaming eyes, so I'm like, poof, like, what do you mean, just okay? I was like, uh-oh. Yes! And I'm like, yeah! Knocking on everyone's door even though they knew, It's like, and I had to play the fool, you know what I mean? But I couldn't get beaten after I just got told I was getting Star Wars. Kind of weird, I was like, oh man. So, once I got told, I got to go to Australia, and they fitted me up. I got to meet George. I got to meet everybody. Ewan McGregor was like, Ewan McGregor and Tim Morris and Django Fett were my best friends on set. Ewan McGregor is actually the best guy. I love him to death, and like, I watch all of his movies now. I actually seen Trainspotting. I don't know how. Don't watch it, kid. I'd seen this movie, and I didn't know what I was talking about, but I was talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, you're the man that goes down the toilet for that thing, He's like, your mom, dad, let you watch this kind of film, son? And I'm like, well, I watch it when she's not around, and she's always working, so I watch it with my brothers and stuff, On this little kid, he's like, okay. So every day in the makeup chair, I would like recite his lines to him from Trainspotting. He's like, this is weird, a kid knows this? But I didn't know what I was talking about at the time. So we got really close, and I used to drive the golf cart around. I used to drive everybody around in the golf cart. Like if I wasn't working, which was like a lot of the time, I would like be like, hey, can I drive in the golf cart? Can I drive in the golf cart? Well, because I was so small, I was 4'7", 4'6". I'd be like this in the golf cart. It was awesome, like, yeah, here we go. Sit down, I gotcha. And I'd drive everyone around the set. Like I was a little chauffeur on the golf cart, and it was awesome. So he gets upset. He's like, oh, Daniel, I gotta show you this. So we break off the little governor. They have like this little nut that hits the pedal, so it can only go a certain speed, safety reasons. Well, we break it off, and there's this little hill like right outside the 2 studios, like right as you're coming down from one studio to the other studio. But the other studio had all the big offices, like the first, second producers' offices and stuff like that. So Ewan comes down the little hill, right? Slams on the brake and hits the side and he's I'm like, that's awesome, Then Ewan turns, he's like, all right, kid, here, jumps on out, here you go on in. Because we're from another country, we're not American. So I jump on him like, all right, get out of there. So I'm like, what? Stop it, and there's the ADs, the first assistant directors. They're like, get him out of there. He can no longer drive that golf cart. I'm like, what? So like, Ewan took away all my fun, I'm like, man, Ewan. So like, after that, I was like, man, this sucks, like pouting and stuff like that. But Ewan remembered that. So my last day of filming, he comes up to me, he goes, you leaving tomorrow, right? And I go, yeah. He goes, what time are you leaving? I said, I'm leaving about 7 or 8. He goes, all right, you meet me here at 5:30. Meet me here at 5:30 at the set, right? So I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. But he had to work at like 7. So he's already waking up hours before he even needed to go into work, for me. So he met me there, it was still dark. And there we are, me and Obi-Wan Kenobi driving through the studio together, and I'm allowed to drive for the last time, to make it a memorable moment, and that's what I mean. These people were so amazing. He didn't need to do that. But forever, as a 13-year-old boy, I will remember that, you know what I mean? And I'll be able to take that with me for life. He doesn't know what impact he made on my life, but I do. That's why I come up to these things and I enjoy myself, because it doesn't matter who you are. I'm like a carpenter, but I just build lots of different houses all over the place, you know what I mean? I don't sit there and go, wow, that one house I built was amazing. You know what I mean? You move on. That's why it's work. Tim Marson, he was hilarious. These outfits, when they're made out of aluminum and steel, they get really, really heavy. And the material that they use, like most of them are pulling down. They have all these straps to keep them up. Because you're only wearing them for so long, they're not made like this. They're actually made heavy duty. So I got into my room. They had this big star, Daniel Logan. I'm like, wow, star, my name, I made it. So I walk in, there's a table like this and a 2-seater couch. Jump on the couch, I'm like, it's my couch, yes! I'm thinking I'm cool, I have this huge table in my room, and then this small little change room, not a small little bathroom, I guess you could call it. I made the big time. So I'm for a couple of weeks thinking I'm cool, my small little room, as soon as I get outside, go back to my small little room and just sit there, staring at my clothes rack. So I go over to Django Fett's room, Tim Marson, right? This sucker, he has 2 rooms. Here's one room that's all lazy boyed out. Like back in the old days, lazy boys were like the new thing, in 2000. He has this big TV, he has this mini fridge stocked full of drinks. He has everything you can think of. And then he has a room that he can go lay and sleep if he likes. I said, how did I get jacked out of this? So, you know what I mean? But I was smart, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna use him to have all this. Instead of going to my room, I'll just come hang out in his room, you know what I mean? I'll get all the perks. I don't need him, he had dames and stuff. So while I was using him, he was using me, which I didn't realize, because the arm was so heavy. You get into these really nice, comfy lazy boys, right? And as he would, he'd be like, but trying to get back up, it was too tough for him. So he'd be like, So there I was. I used to have to pull him out of the chair, So after months of this, I got sick and tired. People were like, you're a stocky little kid. I was like, yeah, you gain muscles pulling up that Django Fett every day, So I'm like, I'm thinking I'm using him, I'm like, I got one up on this. Clearly, he's using me because he can't get out. So I leave him. They call me on set, and they have all these speakers all over the sets. Daniel, please go to stage 2. Daniel, this and this. Well, they used to call Django Fett Boba Fett, So they call me on first so that someone can get an eye on him. So I go, and I'm always cool with actors, If you need help, I'll go stand there, so you get the normal eyeline act for you, so you have something to bounce off. Well, I left him in his chair. I knew he ain't gonna be able to get out. So they needed him after they needed me. So they're like, have you seen Django Fett? And I'm like, no. I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? They're like, Django Fett to stage 2, please, and they all going all over the thing. He must have been in his couch like, you know what I mean? Not being able to get out of it. So